Alrighty, guys, welcome back to episode 242 of the Michael Lab Show. We are here doing it, guys. Let me go ahead and light myself on fire real quick as I irresponsibly go and get my candle. Let me throw on my hat real quick because my hair is looking insane, dude. I look so autistic. I look insane, man. My hair's wild, man. My hair is just it's whatever, dude. Guys, thank you so much for joining me. Happy November 12th, November 11th. I hope you guys are all doing well. Hope you guys staying warm. It is now not cold outside anymore. Dude, that hour change effed me up. I don't think I even talked about it in the last podcast. Dude, that thing destroyed me. It destroyed me, man. And it's so weird. Like, I've never noticed it before, but I could not sleep. Like, I did not sleep. That night we changed it. I don't know why. I think I might be stressed. It's probably just stress. I would think it's stress. That would make the most sense. But like I've been up like all night, dude. I mean, not all night, but I've been waking up I've been waking up enough where I know I'm not sleeping well. You know, and I can feel it like in my eyeballs, dude. My eyeballs are feeling it. I think there's like a funneling right now that's happening right now in my life, you know, between school, like graduating school. That's like a big deal. I'm pretty sure it's a big deal. And then finishing up Harry Potter, like that's a huge deal, man. Like I just got to the part where I'm at the chapter. I'm on Deathly Hallows, which is the last book. I'm on page like 608, 607. And after this podcast, I'm going to go downstairs, walk on the treadmill for an hour, and try to get 50, 60, 70 more pages done. And then I'm going to and then I got to go do my business paper and all that good, fun stuff. And then I'm going to try to finish the book afterwards. And then I'm going to watch the movie. And I'm super pumped to watch the movie. But I think there's just like, you know, just things are coming together in a certain way. Like I'm finishing up school, finishing up Harry Potter, huge deal. We're moving in December, most likely December. Looking for a new job. I just had an interview with actually somebody earlier today, on Wednesday. It went well. It's a finance position. That's all I'm going to say. And they reached out to me, which was awesome. And it's a finance position, and it was in Columbia, but I won't be living here. And I let them know, hey, I won't be living here much longer. I'm moving to Roanoke, and they actually have a connection to Roanoke. So they exchanged emails, so I actually got to reach out to him. I don't know if I should reach out to him or if he should reach out to me. I feel like he should reach out to me since I'm the prospect employee. I'm not sure. I don't know. Maybe I could text my manager and just say, hey man, what would you do if like you got connected with somebody? Would you wait for them? I feel like they should reach out to me because I need them, right? Like I want employment. They want a employee. I don't know. I got to examine myself and think, and I got to use my brain to think for myself. My brain's got to think for me. And then when I'm done thinking, I'm going to come to a decision because that's how we work. That's how people work. That's how brains work. I'm so white right now, dude. Like between this hat and these lights, dude, I look like an octopus. Not an octopus. I look like the dough of Harry Potter. Yeah. So that's that, guys. Crypto's going off to the moon, guys. Like it's here, man. I say this at the time. This is I'm probably just gonna get in a financial rant. I never thought about this, but I was just talking to the gentleman, like, this is so dumb. Like, I feel like there's so many carrots like in front of me that I don't even realize. But like this right here just makes perfect sense. So they reached out to me and they said, we really like your profile. I'm like, why do you like my profile? Like, I'm an entrepreneur major. I have management history. I have like sales experience. But the thing that the thing that the gentleman really liked was the idea of an entrepreneurship major who enjoys finances. And I've never thought about it like that. And I know it's dumb, but like when you're a financial whatever, fill in the blank, you are if you're a human, which you are, if you're listening to this, you're a person. I swear to God, look yourself in the mirror, you'll see eyeballs look back at you, unless you don't have eyes. But otherwise, you just close your eyes or close your sockets and think about a human. That's what you are. You are a human. I want to talk about Theo as well. but we are all our own little business. Like you manage your expenses, you manage your revenue or your income, which is revenue, and then you try to hit a profit margin. Like the goal of saving is the equivalent to hitting a profit in a business. And I've always knew that, but I never conceptualized it into, I never made the PB&J. I've always had the jelly and the peanut butter and the bread, but I never put together and be like, oh, we're all our own little business. I knew we were all like our own little brand, but we're all our own little business. But they seem to enjoy the aspect of like entrepreneur who also enjoys finances. Because there is an aspect to finances when you're doing other people's finances or helping them or advising them. You are a salesman, right? You need to get clients. And the more clients you have, it helps you, but it also helps them. Especially in like, this is, I like that because some people are not interested in money at all. Like they're not interested in finances. And I have like a burning passion for it. Like it's weird because of course I do. It's all analytical. And I'm so analytical. Like numbers take over my world. I break everything down by numbers. I feel like the Matrix dude when he closes his eyes and he sees numbers. That's where I am. That's where I function. I function on that level of whatever you call that, autism. So that's exciting. I'm really excited about that. That would be like the perfect situation. So just like I think all that's kind of like keeping me from sleeping, but it's fine. It's fine. It is what it is. But that's what I want to talk about. Yesterday, the inflation report came out. And this is something that I think is very valuable for people to talk about. And I'm going to get political, but not intentionally. I'm not like trying to push my political beliefs on anybody. There's this idea that it's a new style of economics. I think they call it modern economic theory. That's what it's called. It's called the modern economic theory. The term modern monetary theory was coined by Australian economist Bill Mitchell in the early 90s. Australia is socialist. Bill Mitchell, I just want to see what this guy looks like so I can judge him really hard. Bill Mitchell. What? No. Economist. Dude, this guy. Was a professor of economics at the University of Newcastle, New South Wales, Finland. He is one of the founding developers. Basically, what this idea is, which I don't agree with, is a heterodox macroeconomic theory that describes currency as a public monopoly and unemployment rate as evidence that a currency monopolist is overly restricting the supply of financial assets needed to pay taxes and satisfying savings desires. I don't know what that means. I'm so dumb. I shouldn't be doing this. Let me see if I can get something that's more dumb proof. What are the three major theories? No, what are the modern economics? What's wrong with MMT? Okay, so what's wrong with it? This is from Bo Eckler. The central claim of modern monetary theory is sovereign currency issuing governments do not need taxes or bonds to finance government spending and are financially unconstrained. This leads to MMT to underestimate the economic costs and exaggerate the capabilities of money. So basically, there's this idea now that, here's some pros and cons. Pros, advantages of it: stabilizing failing markets, boost public spending on all social services, including education, medical, increase police reform, boost public spending on infrastructure, invest in underdeveloped communities, increase prosperity standard in living, revolutionizing the entire political economy. Okay, so this is my issue with this. There's been this COVID kind of kicked it into second gear, but it's the idea that we can just throw money at issues. And if we don't have money, the government can throw money at things because they get money. They get money, whether it's from taxes. That's how they get their money. They get money by taxes. We pay them taxes. We buy things, us the people. We buy products, services that are produced by capitalism. We buy them. The government takes their taxes out depending on where you live. There's more taxes. No sales tax in Delaware. No state tax in Tennessee. Florida, Texas, but there's a shit ton of tax in other states. So, and the reason why there's certain taxes is because certain states need certain things, and they need more money to fund those items. So there's this idea that if we can't do that, we just produce more money. And when you print more money, when you develop more money, and you make money out of thin air, which is essentially what's been happening for the last year and a half, and this 2 years almost, year and a half, let's just say year and a half, I have no issue with it like the first few times because we needed it. It's like that concept. I was talking to my manager, and I never thought about a credit card like this, but having a good balance on a credit card, like having the ability to spend a lot on a credit card, put a lot on a credit card without running it out, is good, especially if like your life completely falls apart, you have dire emergencies, and you have to make payments. I would much rather make payments and max out my credit card than just not have any money, even if that money's not mine because I got to pay it back and I can't afford to pay it back. It's like, I'll deal with that tomorrow. Today I could die kind of thing. And that's kind of how it was with the pandemic. At the beginning of the pandemic, we had to get past, we had to crush Moderna. That's not what it's called. It's called COVID. Just had a stroke. We had to crush COVID. So we passed all these bills. And then we kept on passing them. And now we just passed another huge package, the infrastructure deal. And which is good, right? It's good to invest into your country. But I do fear, and especially now with the data that's coming out, that it's happening sooner than we expected. And there was this concept of transitory inflation, that inflation was going to die down by the end of the year, the beginning of the 2022. And that, when I first started hearing that, I immediately go like, that's impossible. Like, how is that possible? Inflation, there's no way it's going to decrease. I think it could hit 8%. It's already up highest that it's been in 31 years. People don't realize what that means. Like, what is inflation? Inflation is the idea that something costs more now than it did before. And when it's up 6%, that 6% is a huge deal. You can basically look at it as a 6% tax. And the issue with taxes, as I was saying in the last podcast, is people who are very wealthy don't pay nearly as much taxes because they know how to get around the tax code. They have lawyers for that. They have tax lawyers. They're smart with their money. Maybe not smart, maybe vindictive, maybe manipulative, but they stay underneath the laws. They're not breaking any laws. They're just doing what they need to do. If I had the money to do it, you can bet your ass that I would be doing it. You could bet your ass that I would be out there trying to save as much money as possible. I wouldn't be paying all my taxes if I had the ability to skate around it. You wouldn't either if you could save 20%. I mean, my paycheck, 24% of my paycheck goes to taxes. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. If I get $1,000, they're taking $740. That's a lot of, or $260. $240 from me. That's a lot. I'm only making $760 at that point, and with $240, that buys me 2/3 of a QQQ, and that's good money. 10% return on that, like it's a big deal. It's $20, that's $24, 10% over 3 years. It's, $48, $60, $72. That's a lot of money. So what happens is when there's too much money in the economy, everything starts becoming more and more expensive. And that's what's happening right now. Supply chains are getting squeezed hard because of COVID. I don't really understand why. I'm not a logistic expert. I'm not a supply manager. I don't know exactly what's happening in that front. I know they keep on saying because of COVID, but everything's because of COVID. Everyone's been saying because of COVID, because of COVID, because of COVID. But like, it gets to a point where it's like, wait, what do you mean because of COVID? Because people aren't going back to work, because people can't go back to work, because people can't go back to work because they have to get vaccinated and they don't want to get vaccinated, but we're willing to force someone to get vaccinated instead of letting them go back to work unvaccinated. Like, there's just so many weird things going on. Like, we've died on this sword of vaccinations, man. I was listening to CNBC this morning. This doctor, she was talking about fourth shots. She was saying everyone needs to just get the third shots before we talk about the fourth shots. I'm like, what are we doing here? Like, what is happening? This is crazy. Even like the flu shot, we don't get 2 to 3, 4 times a year. Dude, 4 times a year. Dude, there's a possibility that you could have had COVID, got the first shot, got the second shot, got the booster shot, and now you get the 4th shot. That is crazy to me. And I know people now, smart people, that are going like, I don't know about the booster, because why? Why do you need it? I don't know. I don't know. It's weird. This idea that we're just gonna boost our way through this COVID thing. It's like, well, first of all, COVID's over. Like, it's done. Like, I'm not even trying to, like, I'm not trying to take like a controversial stance on that. Like, is this still an issue? I don't know. I know people that hate people because they don't get vaccinated. That's crazy to me. I know so many people who are unvaccinated, and guess what? They don't want to kill anybody. They're good people. They just don't want to get vaccinated. Isn't that wild that you can make choices? It's crazy that you're allowed to make your own choices. Like, I don't want to get too much into that shit, but I don't know. I'm not going to get a booster shot. The only way I would get a booster shot, if this time next year when we go in the winter, I might get a booster shot. But I also didn't get the flu shot because I had the flu. Like, there's a part of me that goes like, what are we doing? And like, if you just look at Pfizer, and like, if you just watch a little bit of the stock market, dude, every time Pfizer said something about either their COVID shot, their vaccine, or the little pill that they're gonna get people to pop in for $700, it's gonna be their little pill is gonna be so expensive. This is their cash cow. This is how they're gonna continuously make money. Like, you just saw the first time they went to the FDA said no to booster shots. And the reason why this doctor was saying on CNBC was because there's not enough data on it. It's like, I don't know if that was the reason why. Maybe it's because they've realized that you don't need the booster shot. Maybe you don't need it. Maybe it does more damage to your body than COVID will actually do to you. I mean, dude, if you got to think about it, if you've had COVID and the first shot and the second shot and the third shot, and then you get a 4th shot, I'm not a scientist and I'm an idiot, but that seems overwhelming to your body. Imagine getting the flu and then getting 4 more shots in the same year. What? Like, also, I don't think everyone gets COVID. Like, I don't know. Like, there was just a study that came out. There was just a study that came out, COVID genetics. It was in Oxford, I think. Turns out that COVID is racist. Just kidding, dude. I'm kidding. I'm just being silly. Okay, there we go. The South Asians. Cool. That's the one I was looking at. Okay. Yeah. University of Oxford scientists have uncovered a gene that doubles the risk of lung failure and death from COVID. They say around 60% of people from South Asian backgrounds and 15% of people of European ancestry carry the high-risk version of the gene. Vaccines are key and help. Okay, well, I don't care. The Nature Genetics study sheds light on why some communities in the UK and South Asia are at higher risk for COVID, but does not fully explain it. They estimate that risky version of the gene is present in about 2% of people from Africa, Caribbean backgrounds, and 1.8% from East Africa. Professor James Davies said the discovery that the risky gene does not affect all populations equally was very important. But he said a complex mix of factors, including age, and particularly contributed to each person's individual risk. Anyways, but basically, the headline: high-risk COVID gene more common in South Asians. So I don't even know, like, does everyone get COVID? If more people are more likely to have severe reactions, couldn't it also be the other way? That that some people just don't get COVID? I mean, I don't know. I somehow managed to get out of the whole thing without getting COVID. I still remember, like, it was yesterday, my girlfriend came home, or she came positive with COVID. And the first thing, or before we knew that she had COVID, she, like, couldn't smell anymore. So the assumption was obviously she had it. So I told her to kiss me immediately, and I didn't get it. So I don't know. There's a lot of guesswork out there, but I don't know. Part of me goes like, is that how we're gonna cure COVID? There's a part of me that goes, we're just gonna have to deal with it at a certain point, and I feel like we should have been there 4 or 5 months ago, not now. But I don't know. It's insane. And this Governor Newsom, have you been keeping up with this shit? This Governor Newsom shit? This guy comes out. I'm going to pull up the CNN article instead of the Fox so people don't go like, oh, you mother. Governor Gavin Newsom says he canceled a trip to climate summit after an intervention from his kids. Look at that. 3 dictators back to back to back didn't go. Vladimir Putin, Xi Jinping, and Governor Newsom. I'm just kidding. He's not a dictator. He just tells people they can't go out to restaurants. Meanwhile, he's at a restaurant. He just tells people they can't go out, but then he's at a winery. He tells kids that they can't send his kids, that your kids can't go to school, but he sends his kids to a private school. Fucking, what an idiot. It's insane, dude. He went ahead and got the booster shot. And I'm not trying to be a conspiracy theorist here. This is just what happened. He went ahead and got a booster shot. And then he didn't talk for 2 weeks. He missed the G20 summit, which is like where the climate thing, which was such a joke, dude. Our president fell asleep during the G20 climate convention. He fell asleep. His aide had to wake him up. His aide had to wake him up because Biden took a nap. President Joe Biden took a nap while leaders of the world are talking to him. And we're taking this hard stance. This is such an this is so funny. This is such an American thing to do. We need to cut out we need to stop killing the world. The world's dying. We're polluting the world. And all these other countries like, "Hey bro, I hear you. Listen, I hear you, United States. I know you guys are like trying to clean up the world, but look, we're a developing nation. Okay, so we can't do solar power. We can't do wind power, nuclear power. We need your fuel. So I understand you guys are trying to save the world and shit, doing what Americans always do. But guess what? Stop. We need the oil, douche. Like, we need the oil because we're developing. We weren't developed in the 1800s like you guys were. We're just now starting. So we're going to keep burning fossil fuels because it's cheap and it's easy. And you're just going to deal with it. Like, it's so funny. It's also hilarious that, like, Vladimir Putin and the president of China, Xi Jinping, did not show up. China puts out, like, they are so responsible. They have so much responsibility in the pollution of the world. But, like, nobody looks at China. Nobody looks at China. And I can tell you one thing. No one's going to stop buying Nike shoes and Apple products. I mean, if you just Google where do your Apple products go after they're not being used anymore, they go to the shores of Africa, and there's just mountains and mountains of electronics where people just waste. Like, we always take these weird stances, but like we don't understand why they're so crazy. Like when you talk about saving the world and pollution, but you wear products that are made in factories that have no examination of being good for the environment. Like, I'm sorry, it's a contradiction. It's a contradiction, and it's not upsetting, but it's just funny. It's also funny that Governor Newsom was down and out for 2 weeks straight, and his excuse was that his kids, what was it? Oh, he missed the thing. He missed the G20 summit, and his excuse was because his kids were so angry with him or so intent on keeping him in town for Halloween that the kids had a quote unquote intervention with him. Fucking idiot. Like, what are you talking about, bro? Just say you got the booster and your body did not react well, because guess what? Everyone I know who got the booster, guess what? Their body did not react well. I know family members, I know friends who got the booster shot and it didn't go over too well, my friends. It's like, what are you doing? What are we doing? What game are we playing here? I want to be invited. Invite me to the game. I feel like no one's letting me play the game, man. Good old stock market, man. Bitcoin's gonna be. I've been saying it 100K. I guarantee it's gonna be 100K by the end of the year. Ethereum's probably gonna be 55 to 57. By the end of the year, Doge's gonna be $1. I really do think a lot of stuff's coming for Dogecoin. Yo, man, I'm a huge backer of Elon. Whatever he does seems to do well. You know, Tesla, pretty good company. SpaceX, doing pretty well. Neuralink, pretty cool. Starlink, doing pretty well. Like, why not Doge, man? Why not Doge? Why not Doge? Give me one reason why Doge can't do well. You don't have a reason. My teacher said, a kid in my class asked my teacher, who's like, he's 70-something years old. He's survived cancer 4 times. He's very conservative with his money, I would say. I'm not speaking for him if he hears this, but I know he won't hear this. I'm just speaking from my personal opinions that I'm assuming that he's conservative with his money. Somebody who would he's about Warren Buffett a lot and Charlie Munger. And he says Charlie Munger is better than Warren Buffett. People always say that, but I mean, Warren Buffett has like 90 times more money than Charlie Munger. It's like, what are we doing? I really do think what game are we playing here? Like, come on. What are we doing? It's okay to say that Warren Buffett's the best. You're not like, he is. He's a G. He's the best, dude. But my fucking arms are so sore. But even a kid in my class asked about Bitcoin, and it was so, he was like, this might be off topic, but what's your thought on Bitcoin? My professor's like, yeah, that's very much off topic. But what he said was very profound. He said, if people accept something as currency, it's currency. And I was like, well, damn, that's so true, because that's what money is. We've accepted it is currency, and it is currency because it's what we use. And I think currency is more of a currency when it's backed by something, like a solid thing, like gold, which is weird because like it's like an anchor. Like someone's got to anchor it down. But I want to talk about, I might use these last like 10 minutes to talk about Theo Von. So this past weekend, my lovely girlfriend and I went and saw Theo Von. And we bought these tickets back in March, April, probably May. And this is when everything started opening back up, and I was pumped. I was so pumped to see Theo Von. And sorry about that. Get back. I'm just kidding. I'm not gonna say that. That would be bad. I can't say that. I got to go to school and I got to get jobs. I had 6 breakfast tacos. It is 10:30 in the morning. I had 6 breakfast tacos. I'm drinking Diet Pepsi. Ask me how I'm doing. There's your answer. So we went and saw Theo Von, and she was probably too. Hopefully, maybe, I don't know. I would assume she was. Why is this shit not staying up? There we go. I'll be doing that. It should cost me all the money in the world. So I was excited to go see Theo Von, and it was on Saturday the 6th, and I saw the Netflix special, and it was pretty good. It was good. Now, Theo is such an interesting guy because his funniest moments are when he's on a podcast, because his back and forth banter is just, it's out of the world. There's so many types of comedy, right? And like his ability to get on a podcast and just take it over is the best. It's the best. He was just on Impulsive with Logan Paul, and he killed it, man. He killed it. He was just with Joe Rogan. It was probably the funniest episode I've seen all year. The only person funnier on a podcast is Joey Coco Diaz. And the best podcasts in the whole world are when Theo Von was on Joey Coco Diaz's podcast. I think Theo got high off of mushrooms or something. It was hilarious. It was really funny. But like those two together, Charlie's probably going to start barking here. I'm going to lose my mind. But we only have 10 minutes left, so we can do this. Let me go ahead and check my stocks real quick because super professional on this page. So we went ahead, but he's the funniest. Like Theo Von he's golden. And he's been talking a lot about like how he's been struggling a lot with his mental health. and he said he's been feeling angry. And I go to this show, and he has two hilarious openers. This one black chick who opened, that was the first person of the night. She was hilarious. She was really funny. She was just doing these jokes about like white women and shit, and like just it was so funny. She had one joke where it was like she was talking about like a white woman and a black girl. They were like friends, and like the white woman comes over, or the white friend, like college age, calls and is like, "Hey girl, we need to get white girl wasted on Wednesday." And then the black chick was like, "Hey bitch, I gotta do black girl Thursday work." And it was really funny. I completely ruined that joke. That was not funny at all, the way I said it. But she's, I think, Faquim, Fakar, or something like that. Really funny. Then he had Ari Manis on, who was just, dude. I knew Ari Manis. I've listened to his podcast a few times, but man, that guy he opens up the show. Mind you, this is Baltimore, so you have to wear a mask inside the venue, which no one was doing. I mean, everyone wore one when they got into the venue. But then when the venue started, like all the staff there was like double masked and shit, like triple masked, because nobody had a mask on. It was just chaos. It was chaos. 2,500 people just maskless, hammered, just drinking. And I was not drinking because I could not imagine drinking around that many people. I would put a bullet through my face. I would be so anxious. But his opening joke, he comes out, he's like, "Look at all you bitches out there all wearing these masks. Take him off, you fucking pussies." I was like, I'm looking around like, oh my God. It was hilarious. It was really funny. It was crazy. Maybe I shouldn't even said that he said that, but it was hilarious. It was really funny. And then he goes on. His bits are really good. And then he welcomes on Theo Von. And Theo Von was good. He was really funny, but he just seemed off. He seemed angry. I felt bad for him because you can tell that he really relies on like the crowd for like his support, and he gets really sensitive when he feels like he's not doing his best. And there was this fucking lady there who just kept on yelling, dude. Like he would do a joke about an app, and then she would scream. She would go like, "What app is it?" And then he would say, "Ma'am, I've never seen this in comedy, and I've only been to 2 comedy shows. I went to Theo's, then I went to Rogan. Rogan had Tony Hinchcliffe, Andrew Santino, and then Joe Rogan. That was a little bit different because that was like an arena. That was pre-pandemic, so that was before he was like Spotify, like the biggest person in the world. This was they never really had any heckles there, which a heckle is somebody who just like screams while the show's going on. But he had this girl, and she would just yell, and he would tell her to shut up. He said, "Guys, please kick her out. Like I can't do the show with her in here. These people are paying money and they want to be here, but you just keep, like, this girl just keeps on yelling, like, please kick her out." And like the bodyguards, I guess not the bodyguards, but like the bouncers who worked there, they didn't do anything, right? Like they're older gentlemen and women. And then like 15 minutes go by and she's just yelling again, and finally he like puts down his mic, turns, points at her, and he's like, "Get her out of here." And I felt bad for him, and like, I called into a show. He probably won't hear it at all, but I called in a show and I just said, "Hey man, like, you can, you probably won't hear this, Theo, but like I felt bad. Like I felt bad for the way that Baltimore like treated you, and I felt bad for you because you didn't seem happy. Like you seemed upset and sad, and like I just want you to know, man, like you don't have to always, like you don't have to go on tour. Like I know like a lot of money is made in that, but your fans like you for who you are. Like we like you because of your openness to us. Like we like you because you're very transparent with us. We like you because you fight really hard, and like you're human. Like you mess up, you relapse, and like I don't know. This is weird because I'm in my own bed. I'm in my own bedroom right now. I look insane. I'm wearing a bucket hat. I'm wearing headphones because I lost my AirPods. I also got an Apple Card, by the way. But we like you for who you are, and like we don't want to see you upset and sad and mad and touring, because I part of me felt like you were. This might just be a selfish thought that I have, but you don't have to be there. Like, we like you for just doing the podcast and like coming to shows every once in a while. But like, you got to take care of yourself. We want you to take care of yourself. And maybe I'm just completely misreading the room, but it seemed like you didn't take care of yourself and you just seemed all over the place and sad. I mean, you were hilarious. You're really funny. Don't get me wrong. Like, you're the funniest comedian out there. In my opinion, you're the funniest comedian out there. Only one that comes close is Joey Diaz, and I've never seen him live, and I don't think I've ever really seen him stand up. Just his podcasts are absolutely out of this world. Insane. Maybe just too crazy. But basically what I'm saying, man, is you always tell us to take care of ourselves, but you take care of yourself, bro. Like, we're here for you. We'll support you. If you came out next week, I would go to your show again. Like, you're the GOAT. You're the GOAT. You're one of the first guys I ever listened to on a podcast. I discovered you on a Rogan show in like 2015, 2016. You've changed my life. Like, you really have. I mean, one of the reasons why I started this podcast was because of you, because of Shab, because of Chris D'Elia, because of Rogan, because of Bert Kreischer, Joey Diaz. I started something because I wanted to create like a community. And also, when I first started on therapy, I figured out early in the process that all the answers were within me. I just had to talk and then hear the answers. And that's initially why I started the podcast, because I took so much inspiration for what you were doing with your show. And I found it to be very therapeutic for you and therapeutic for me. And I figured if I could just find a place where I could talk, it could be therapeutic for others. But you were great, man. I really appreciate you coming out to Baltimore. I hope you come out again. I hope you bring Ari Manis. I hope he needs to watch it with that one joke, though, dude. I'm just kidding. Let it rip, dude. It's hilarious. It was funny. That mash shit, though, was wild to see. Just wild to see. But yeah, guys, I don't think there's really much more I really want to get into. I want to make it 40 minutes. So let's see if we can find any news story here that's something I can make fun of. Maybe I had a few like notes written down, or maybe I'll just mumble to the end of the podcast. I got it all day. I don't have school today, which is awesome. My teachers like cancel class for some reason. I think we're supposed to go somewhere, but I'm not going. I have other things to do, like jobs and shit. What else? I had some podcast ideas I wanted to talk about. Oh, I did get a new Apple Card. The cool thing with the Apple Card is also I want to raise up my credit score, which I'm going to actually look at it right now. It's probably down because I got a new card. And whenever you get like a new card, your credit gets hit really hard, which kind of sucks. It shouldn't be that way. But I got a new credit card because I wanted to bounce up my credit big time. It's only down 1 point today. But I went ahead and went with the Apple Card. Taylor went ahead and got an Apple Card, and I loved it. It looks so cool. Like on your phone, you can do like nope, that's not what I wanted. Double click. Yeah, there we go. You can let me pull up the wallet here real quick. I got it for this reason. I wanted to raise up my credit, but the main reason I got it is because the way it looks, like the on your phone, looks really cool. It tracks your card balance. It tracks your weekly activity by month and by year, which is amazing. Your payments, what's due at a certain time, and also it gives you 90 days to make your payment. I think it was 90 days or something like that. You can also pay cash. You can also share your business. Like if I had a kid or something, I could I don't have a kid, but if I had a kid, I could share this with them and then go out and buy something. But I'm going to go ahead and put my other credit card to rest. I'm not going to use it anymore. I just paid it off this morning. So now this is going to be my third credit card, the $500 limit, $7,500 limit. And I only got a $1,000 limit. It's probably because I don't make any money. I only make $25,000 to $35,000 a year. So nothing crazy. And obviously that's because of my job, and I can't really work full time right now because I'm in school. But with me getting a new job, I will be making more money. So, God, I'm shortness of breath, dude. I feel like I'm running. I'm going to go finish Harry Potter. I'm going to go finish the 7th one because that's what I do. And then I'm going to go to the local community college and knock out my my homework. I finished 10 of my 15 pages for my paper. And then I got to review it. Then I got to get Taylor to review it. She'll just crush it because Thank God though, because I'm good at getting ideas on paper, but I'm not good at putting them in order and making them sound good. I'm just good at getting them out on paper. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for listening to the podcast. I'll catch you guys on episode 243 next week. We're closing into Movement Day, and I'm super excited for that. But thank you guys so much for listening. It's a blessing to be able to do this almost at 250 episodes, almost a fourth, 25% of the way to 1,000, which is like mind-boggling. We've been doing this since 2019 now at this point, I think. Yeah, 2019. It's crazy. Thank you guys so much for listening. I'll see you guys in the next episode. Peace out.